During this first week of class, we used the term civilization several times. And I'd like to clarify what this term means for two reasons. One is that I want us all to be talking about the same thing, and two, in the last 2 weeks of class, you're going to be doing a research project, as you know already. And that research project, I want you to consider one question, and that is, why do humans create civilizations? Let's start first with the term itself. There was a time in the history of human communities when people lived in hunting clans or nomadic groups that hunted and looked for their food more than 90% of their time. They got up in the morning, went looking for food, and when they went to sleep, it was at sundown when they had stopped looking for food. But there came a time in history, and this last week we saw it happen in Egypt, in Ghana, in Zimbabwe, in the Congo, when men stopped being nomadic and created what we call civilizations. Civilization usually means that there is one powerful person in charge. The Egyptians called it a pharaoh, or it could be a king, it could be an emperor, a head of a dynasty. There are many names that we use for these people, but usually a civilization has one very powerful individual that has a lot of say, and then there's a whole pyramid of power classes or groups, communities within that civilization. For example, you could have clergymen, you could have military people, you could have business people, you could have architects, you could have artists, you could have a series of crafts. So when we come to a human society that is pyramid-like, as opposed to a human society where everybody is in a sense equal, everybody gets up in the morning and goes off to find food, as opposed to a community where you have a very complex society. For example, you are full-time students, most of you. In a nomadic society, there would be no resources to maintain a full-time student, or to support a clergyman, or to keep an army. So it's in a civilization, a complex society, that all of these classes will appear. Educators, doctors, lawyers, urban planners. That only appears in civilized societies, which we saw appear for the first time in Africa, in both Northern Africa, in Western Africa, and in Southern Africa. So that's what I'm talking about when we say the word civilization. Now, the question that I want you to consider as we travel now towards the end of the semester is, why do human beings create civilizations? What is it that pushes them or opens the door so that they will stop living in nomadic societies, in hunting or gathering or fishing communities?